All right, this is the next installment on the standalone Woodburner masonry heater retrofit project. So I have now packed cob. This is a mix of gravel and sand and clay. I packed cob in on a little bit on that side, all around the back, in those gaps that I showed in the prior installments that were behind the upright block. This is the concrete block that I was showing in one of the prior videos that sits right behind the Woodburner. So I packed that entire gap now with cob, and I've packed around the sides as well. And then also on the left side here, I ran some cob up in the corner, just like I did on this side. So that is the extent of the core done. Now the only thing left to do really is to put the shell of cob around this entire thing, and that shell of cob will contain straw to help prevent any cracking. But I've already fired this Woodburner now that I've built this entire core, including with the cob. I've had a hot fire. I've actually had 3 hot fires now in the Woodburner, just to make sure that if anything's kind of too close to it right now, it should get pushed. It should have gotten pushed out of the way by heating the Woodburner up in those 3 fires really hot. So we should have seen kind of the maximum expansion in the wood burning stove already at this point, and hopefully everything that was too close to the wood burner has now been pushed out of the way. But as I showed in the previous video, I did a pretty meticulous job of leaving expansion gaps around all sides wherever the masonry is touching the wood burner. It's not actually touching it. I've left a about a 2 millimeter expansion gap minimum to avoid any expansion cracking stuff. So I'm quite hopeful that the layer of fiber reinforced cob that's gonna form a dome shell over this whole thing, I'm quite confident or hopeful that that's not going to show any cracking. Just a couple other things to show. So I have put what are sometimes referred to as sprags, or spragging nails. These are screws, but I've spragged the front face of both of these cement blocks with masonry screws, just to help the cob that's going to be touching that have a key and grab onto those, and hopefully that'll help hold it all together so we don't get any cracking between the cement block and the cob shell that surrounds it. And then I also need to still pack the expansion gaps that are bigger than I need. I need to pack those with the copper wool that I spoke about in the prior video. So I have, I've ordered that, and that's going to be delivered in the next couple days. So I just need to receive that, and then I'll pack some of these bigger gaps with that to help pull heat out of the wood burner and dump it into the masonry. So I'll show that in another video, how I do that. But yeah, it's coming along well. So this top, I've just had a very hot fire, and the fire's gone out about 30 minutes ago now, and this piece of slate by itself is way too hot to touch. So it's absorbing heat well, just as it is now. And I expect that will radiate out into this room for probably a couple hours to come at least, and that's without all the extra cob that's going to go around it, and without the copper wool that I'm going to add to help increase the rate of heat transfer into the thermal mass. Yeah, that's the update. I will come back to you in another installment when I've got the copper wool, and then I'll probably do another one after that for the final shell of cob around the entire outside. Okay, thanks, bye.